Hi Gemini, welcome to your biweekly readings. Please keep in mind these readings are only general, so always takes what it feels right and with what resonates with your own life experiences at the moment. And if you would like a private reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. So Gemini, this is a time where you really called upon realization over your unconscious driven emotions that have a lot to tell you and to clarify within the confusion state you may be feeling or drawn to feel during this time. It's like you initiate this time really at the crossroads, at a point of important decision about changes you're about to make, about transformation that it's needed, especially in terms of your emotional self. But you don't have yet all the information that you need. You don't have yet all the illumination over your unconscious to be able to have the right discernment, the right focus to make this decision and to get out of the state of confusion and fear or insecurity. And so there's a lot of illumination and knowledge that you're called upon, bringing forward the energy of working on getting closer to yourself at a deeper level, at a level where it doesn't have to make rational sense. It doesn't have to make, you don't need to have all the rational answers that you would traditionally look forward, but to make sense out of the weird feelings, out of the weird dreams, about the intuition that is so highly developed to you at this moment, but you may confuse it or you may deny it by the filter of your mind, at the judgment of your mind out of what you are feeling, because you have in the current position the Hanged Man crossed by the Queen of Swords. So it's like you may be denying or you may be defensive about this need to stop and reflect upon a certain issue that requires a decision, but requires a decision with a much more deeper insight, but a much more deeper knowledge than what you have right now. So you are called upon this time to, yes, use your mind to not get drowned in feelings of despair or internal turmoil in terms of not being able to make sense out of what you are feeling, but actually using that at your advantage, using that to stimulate your mind with the Queen of Swords, uh, to broaden your sense of what it is your reality, what it is truthful in your reality, and cut to the chase, but in a way where you don't deny this important spiritual meaning that's around you. You could be surrounded by a lot of mystery and a lot of secret energy because it's occult. It's occult within you, especially the answers you are trying to gather. And your mind may contain certain information because it doesn't make, again, um, rational meaning to you, but it has a deeper meaning, a meaning that it's spiritual, a meaning that it's deeply reliant on. When you transcend your box, when we transcend our limited perceptions of life, we can get to this deeper meaning that it's needed in the experiences we are gathering. And so even if you feel stuck or that life is this stagnation point, especially in terms of a decision or a choice that you are called to make, don't beat yourself up because you are still in a time of reflection and of study upon the situation to gather all the pieces that are needed, all the ones that even if you don't make clear sense to you, it will make later, probably after this week's pass through. And I also say this because crowning you, you have the moon. So the moon is a very fluctuant energy because it deals with our um, deepest intimate emotional needs. And so you are called upon again to look at these needs and to look how these emotional reactions work as a mirror of deeper issues that need to be looked upon: fears, insecurities, paranoia, depression, or simply a need to connect deeply with this intuitive side of yourself and use it as well together in an alchemy state with your mind to be fully developed on what you're trying to achieve. And there's a choice and there's a decision and there's a compromise that it's needed in this emotional situation that it's triggering you a lot of fear or a lot of restlessness emotionally. So you are so sensitive this week, but because it's crowning you, you are advised to go with the flow in those sensitive times, to use that sensitivity to help you, not to see it as a hindrance or as something that it's keeping you from being yourself, because you may feel out of touch with yourself during this time. But in reality, you are getting closer to it, but you will be you probably will not be able to see it yet because the moon is something that is reflected and illuminated on its own time. When something it's revealed suddenly for us to see it clearly. So you may get this illumination and you may get this clarification the less you fight or you resist to your emotional needs. So be honest about them. Don't beat yourself up again or be too judgmental about those emotional needs and about your deeply rooted insecurities in terms of who you are internally and what that is calling to you. It could be a time where you have a lot of hunches, a lot of psychic feelings, intuition. It could be a healing time to your emotions if you allow yourself to look at those emotions with the hangman from a different angle, because you are using, again, with the Queen of Swords, a lot of your mind and the sharpness of your mind and the rationality and the need to prove what you're feeling. And that will create defense mechanism that will block you to fully understand the proposition here. Also, because coming from the recent past, you have the Two of Swords, or there was this moment of um, being at the crossroads that you still are, but it's more like in the recent past you understood the need to compromise something. You understood the need that this split that your mind, your rational mind again was creating in protecting your heart, in defending again those emotional needs. And that creates a state of lack of clarity because you don't see clearly what's in front of you because you are looking to see it from the filter of the mind. But your mind will create this split and this dynamic where it's difficult to engage with in a fully conscious, healthy way because you're not, your whole system is not in it. And so, coming from the recent past, you understood the need to compromise something. And in my opinion, this compromise has to do with joining forces between your mind and your heart, and maybe overcoming again insecurities of the heart, overcoming insecurities and fears associated with emotional needs. And the moon is easily triggered by anything that we project or is projected towards us. And one of the main triggers is relationships. It's the dynamic of relationships that awakens us to why do I feel this way? Why am I so insecure? Why I can't be rational and use again my intelligent left brain mind to make conscious decisions, because you need to join the other half. You need to join the feminine, intuitive, nurturing, allowing side. Also, it's a time to allow. It's a time to allow things to flow, to be not as defensive as you may be with the Swords energy in terms of just rushing over words, communication, decisions without fully understanding again the fears and the knowledge behind those fears. And unconsciously, you have the Seven of Pentacles working here. Again, this is something that it's brewing for quite a time. It's not just an energy you probably feel um, specifically this week's, but it's something that has been brewing inside of you. It's something that you have been trying to understand. You have been patient, very patient about the process, but now it's like this culmination with the moon, this culmination where things come to the surface and no longer this uh, containment, this trying to wait to see what comes out of it will work, because there's this harvest. It is the harvest time that you are called upon to go towards, a harvest time in terms of emotions, in terms of the spiritual meaning behind every seed of intention that you planted. And it's a time where you wait patiently, or you have been trying to wait patiently to see your time surfacing, the time where you feel free, where you will feel emotional connected at a deeper level with yourself and with others, and at the same time having a difficulty doing so because it triggers again a lot of your um, blockages, a lot of your conditionings in terms of how you let emotions slowly, um, sorry, how you let emotions flow freely into your life, and how you can understand them as a part of yourself and not deny those needs because there's a conditioning upon what you believe it's safe in terms of how you allow yourself to feel and how you don't allow yourself to feel. Also, it's a time where you can be very creative and use this power of, again, of unconscious energy, of imagination to create something, even if this idea, again, is still in this process of brewing inside of you and not yet you can fully express it or communicate it or uh, show it outside. Inside, there's a lot going on with you in this time, especially with the outcome being the Hermit. Again, talking about this need to go within, because you have the Hangman beginning the reading and you have the Hermit ending it. It's a time to be with yourself at a deeper level. It's a time to be committed with the journey of your soul, the journey where you fully understand yourself in a way that maybe you have been denying or running away from understanding, because you know it will take time, and you know it will take patience, and you know it will take a lot of effort uh, to not let those insecurities control you and keep you from going there. It's a time to seek knowledge, to be your own counselor, to be your own to be the expert in those answers you are looking for, knowing that they will never come from the outside sources. They will never come from the outside uh, environment. They will come from your commitment to be with yourself, to study, to reflect, to engage in this path where you illuminate more about who you are and who you want to be. And really, it's a strong in terms of energy, in terms of internal energy. It's a very strong week where you can get to a point of knowing yourself and your emotional needs at a level of understanding that you didn't before. And this will develop into you being much more wholly engaged with yourself and with life in a way that you put your soul much more into it than what you have been putting up until this time. And when I say this is because not for you specifically, I need to make a separate video out of this, because when I talk, when I am expressing my insights, my intuition here on these readings, I'm talking about uh, this type of archetypes, this type of energies working with us all as humans. We all fall into these patterns. I fall into these patterns. You fall into these patterns. The thing is, there's specific times in our lives that we are called upon these energies to become aware of ourselves and where we are in the path of authentic life and where we are not. And so when I talk about you getting closer to yourself, it's not that you have been wearing this specific type of mask or wearing this specific type of mechanism that kept you from being who you are. It's not that you are not honest. It's not that you are not fully aware of who you are. Is that at this time you are called upon more and more to dive deep into these energies, to understand whatever it's going on around you, that it's making you question, that it's making you feel stuck, or that is making you feel afraid. So Gemini, I hope you have a great new year. I hope you have a great celebration and an awesome time. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see each other soon.